しい誰かを傷つけたさよならとささやく醜き世界に赤く赤いその羽でキラリと舞い踊るどうか熱いキスをそうよ何度でも暴れ出した心に気づいたならもう一度変われる
What's going on, everybody? My name is Ronan Lockhart and this is Hip Style Gaming. Hope everybody's having a fantastic day. Afternoon time for me, guys, and yes, it is time. Sora is the Master of Masters finale part 2, guys. The hype is real. Now, I know this video kind of took a little bit longer than what I even anticipated, but that's only because I wanted to make sure I was gathering up pretty good evidence to back up everything what I'm saying. And after everything that I've gathered up, I think I'm gonna turn a lot of heads today. So, if you are new to this channel, please leave a like on this video as well as subscribe to the channel to help the channel keep going, guys. I appreciate everyone who has already been subscribing to the channel. At the time of this video, 210 subscribers. I really appreciate that, guys. You know, if you guys haven't yet, please check out part 1 of this series, which is Sora is the Master part 1. I will leave a link of that in the description box below. And yeah, without further ado, guys, let's jump into it. Go. So over these courses of videos, I've been explaining and providing details and little hints and evidence showing why Sora can be the Master of Masters, or actually is indeed the Master of Masters. Well, in part 1, my very first video, I actually explained that there were 2 separate timelines going on that actually might have happened during the Keyblade graveyard scene when Sora is at his weakest moment. Originally, I speculated that this was the pivotal moment that could have been when the split between 2 timelines happened, you know, with one timeline leading up to Sora being, you know, the Master of Masters, and the other leading up to, you know, the one that we've been playing so far, you know, where Sora's always winning, you know, and then the alternate timeline, you know, the one where the Master of Masters is from, that would be the one where Sora, you know, is, you know, pretty much the loser Sora, you know, not really a loser, but that's the one that gave in, I guess you could say, to darkness in a way, you know. Well, something has actually led me to believe that I was wrong. The split might have actually taken place way earlier than what we even expected, guys, and it's been right in our faces all along. Take a look at this next scene and tell me if you guys catch it, and for all you who won't catch it, don't worry, I will explain it. Check this out. Did you guys catch that? No? Let me play it for you one more time. Pay close attention. Sora is seeing the picture of Hollow Bastion and saying that it looks familiar. Now, when I would go back and play Kingdom Hearts, you know, I would always see this cutscene and think like, okay, it was probably doing that because, you know, maybe Kairi's heart was inside of Sora, so, but that doesn't make any sense why Sora would be ringing this place as familiar as if he's seen it, you know? Kairi's heart is dormant inside of Sora, okay? Dormant inside of Sora. So Sora is not having any memories of Kairi's at this moment in time. Otherwise, he would have had other memories of Kairi, okay? He sees, you know, little hallucinations of Kairi here and there, but that doesn't mean that he's having Kairi's memories, so that knocks that off the table. And that's when it hit me. This is where the split happened, in Hollow Bastion. Hollow Bastion is where the split happened. That would explain why the Master of Masters is older than, you know, he's older, because, you know, this version of Sora, you know, it happened at it, you know, whatever happened to him at a kid, you know, took place in Hollow Bastion, and he lived his life throughout, you know, the years. You see what I'm saying? Maybe experiencing something in a different way. You know, this would actually explain, you know, maybe why there's a Kingdom Hearts Final Mix 1, you know, and a Kingdom Hearts, you know, 1. You know, there's 2 separate timelines. Kingdom Hearts Final Mix, Kingdom Hearts 1. There's 2 separate timelines going on, guys. And the Kingdom Hearts 1 timeline, you know, that might be the one, you know, where Sora is, actually loses in Hollow Bastion, and the Kingdom Hearts final mix timeline might be the one, where he meets the mysterious figure in Hollow Bastion with Beast, and Donald and Goofy. That might be the timeline, where everything proceeded and continued to happen. Pretty much Kingdom Hearts Final Mix 1 is the main story, compared to Kingdom Hearts 1. Kingdom Hearts 1 is kind of like the alternate timeline where things kind of went bad, and maybe Sora was weak at heart, whereas Kingdom Hearts Final Mix is, the final mix. That's the final timeline. That's the actual timeline we've been living in for Kingdom Hearts this whole time. So now the question is, well, what caused this split in Hollow Bastion? And a lot of you may be already thinking it right now, and a lot of you may not be thinking it, but things are about to take a little bit of a dark turn. So what could have caused this split in Hollow Bastion? I have 3 theories on what could have caused this split, and all 3 are interesting each in their own. Theory number 1 is actually Maleficent caused this split. How would she have done this? Well, thanks to the new Kingdom Hearts Union Cross update provided by translated by Everglow. I will leave a link to his video in the description box below if you have not yet seen it. But pretty much it has been confirmed that Maleficent has succeeded in getting from the past version of a virtual confusing, right? No, Maleficent has succeeded in getting from the past version in the virtual world to the past version in the real world, and darkness has followed her as well. So my theory is that Maleficent in doing that actually caused some type of rift that was not supposed to actually happen, and darkness being there is a very, very bad thing as well too. I actually started speculating for a minute that when darkness says I have unfinished business here, that maybe he was actually be going to maybe encounters Sora. We know that Sora encounters a mysterious figure in Hollow Bastion in Kingdom Hearts 1 Final Mix, and he's an optional boss. What if this mysterious figure is actually Darkness, another form, the same way he kind of took, Master Ava's form and misled Vin? We actually know that the Darkness is strong enough to do that now, strong enough to take the form of a foreteller, so I'm pretty sure he'd be able to take the form as, some type of hooded figure, maybe, impersonating Xemnas. But yes, it is possible that her, doing that kind of, messed up things and maybe caused like a little alternate rift. She went back in the past and she kind of did something, when you really think about it. She wasn't supposed to. She went back in the past, and her fight with Lorium might, that wasn't supposed to happen. You're not supposed to go back in time, and you're not supposed to alter things because it mess up the future, blah blah blah. Maybe her doing that with Lorium kind of altered things a little bit. Maybe Darkness, possessing Ventus altered things a little bit. So that's theory number 1 on what could have caused the time rift. Keep in mind, they didn't even know about that room. Judging how Lorium reacted to not knowing what that room is when Maleficent is telling him about it, the other 5 didn't know what that room is. So that's actually a plausible theory too. Them coming out to find those pods, Maleficent caused that as well. The other 5 might have, of course they're gonna wonder what's going on with Lorium because he got his ass kicked. They'll come across him, come across the pods, and hey, this is how we get out of this virtual world. And yeah, of course they would leave, and that would also cause a time rift, thus as well making it Maleficent's fault. But that's just speculation for now. That's only theory number 1. Theory number 2 on what could have caused the time split in Hollow Bastion is actually Melody of Memory. It could be Kairi caused the time split in Hollow Bastion, via Melody of Memory, and we might see that later. Well, evidence of this could be, that scene where Riku is about to strike down Sora. He's possessed, he's about to strike down Sora, and right before Sora, is about to get hit, we hear Kairi's voice, somewhere in the background.
Sora! Forget it. There's no way you're taking Kairi's heart.
But it's like, we were all led to believe that maybe he heard her voice in his head, or maybe he heard her voice, but in reality, maybe it's Kairi is actually there, like maybe some little time travel stuff going on, guys. Melody and Memory might tie that up and explain that, maybe Kairi's actually there and she encourages Sora to keep going. We know for a fact now that the pods that we see in Hollow Bastion are actually a real thing, and we also know now that Kairi indeed used one of those pods, at a younger age in her life. We just don't know how it went down or what happened, but we know she has some type of connection to those pods, guys. So it could have been, she used that pod, to go back in time, to that moment in history where, when that was about to happen, and she was the one who actually saved Sora. And theory number 3 kind of takes a little bit of a darker turn with everything, guys. The latter might actually be that, Riku, who was actually fully possessed at that time, might have actually, struck his friend down. Riku might have actually struck his friend down. We see that Sora has his moments of weakness, but I've been noticing with Sora that whenever he has his moments of weakness, he always has his friends or some type of companion or something around him to remind him to keep going. At this moment in time, Goofy was, I guess, affected by a magical barrier. Donald got his ass kicked, and it's only Sora, and he's losing to his friend that he always loses to, even though when he was younger, and you have to remember, he's younger too. He's only like 14 at the time. So, this is critical on the kid, So, at any moment in time, guys, Sora could have given up. We have to remember, this is Disney and Square Enix combined. So, they're trying to keep it, as friendly and light as possible. But Kingdom Hearts has been coming out with some very, very dark looking elements lately, and we've all been noticing it. So, yeah, it might actually be that Riku might have actually struck down his best friend, not, purposely. It might have been, that Riku struck down his best friend. Maybe, just maybe, Riku struck down his best friend, went on to feel guilty and torn by it, and maybe he grew up to be Zora in another timeline. That's why they look alike. Okay, that's kind of pushing it, but that would be pretty cool though. But the point is, everything leads back to Sora being some type of form or version of the Master of Masters. There's definitely some type of alternate timeline thing going on with Kingdom Hearts, guys. We're seeing it now, and it has to be centered around Sora. Maleficent using the time pods is centered around Sora because if she did use those time pods, as I said earlier, those were exposed to the other dandelions now. Lorium got his ass kicked, so he knows about him now. The others will come to find out about them. This would, explain who these 5 friends are, in the secret reports from Xehanort, that Subject X is referred to with, these 5 friends are indeed those, the new dandelion leaders, the new union leaders. It's indeed Ephemer in them, Maleficent plays a part in this unknowingly, because it all leads up to that final moment in Kingdom Hearts 3 in the Keyblade Graveyard again, where Ephemer does appear to help Sora. Pretty much what I'm saying is it's all like a chain of events, guys. Everything is there to set up to help Sora. While there's a whole bunch of stuff set up there to deter and, distract, I guess you can say, Sora, there's also elements set there that are keeping Sora going. It's as if something's trying to keep Sora going because Sora is the pivotal point in everything. That would make sense, with him being the Master of Masters, because he's the Master of Masters. He's the one that is, pretty much in a way, like Sora is the chrono trigger, you can say. He's the trigger which is going to set off all of these events, so whoever controls that narrative on Sora's life will thus in turn control all the future events of Kingdom Hearts, because Sora is a Master of Masters. The Master of Masters himself might actually be, aka older version of Sora, might actually be trying to assist his younger version of himself by laying out all these events to make his younger self stronger. Really think about it. We've been coming to find out that a lot of these, mainly the Organization 13 members, are all people who have some type of tie with the Keyblade, and I'm primarily talking to Marluxia, and Larxene. You know, it has been revealed that these two are actually dandelions from the past. You know, these two are actually Keyblade wielders from the past. And I found it funny when Marluxia said, "Oh, now it comes back to me." What if this whole time, you know, everything has been set in place, you know, by the Master of Masters, aka older Sora, to make sure his younger self stays on that path? You know, I speculated in a theory video. I will leave a link for that in the description box below. And my Ericus is a descendant of Master Ava, and Master Ava's true intentions revealed video. I speculated that there were dandelions, you know, who were all sent here to actually find and awaken Sora, for he is the only one who can actually change the current outcome of the future. This would make the Master of Masters a actual hero rather than a villain, and would actually make the true villain, as I speculated in my Kingdom Hearts 4 Saga True Villain Revealed video. I will leave a link for that in the description box below as well too, that Luxu has actually been the traitor the whole time. Pretty much to summarize it up for all who have seen Dragon Ball Super, Luxu is pretty much a Zamasu. I couldn't remember his name. Luxu is pretty much being a Zamasu, you know, let's put it that way. So to summarize it, something happens in Hollow Bastion causing causing two separate timelines. One timeline in which Sora, you know, grows up to be the one we're playing in Kingdom Hearts 3, and the other timeline where he actually grows up to be the Master of Masters who has experienced darkness. Now, what could have changed the Master of Masters' mind, actually, what I believe, is the fact that he may have actually found out, you know, later on down the line that there is a possibility of, you know, reversing the things that have happened, you know, through an alternate timeline, which would be the reason why he is controlling the events of, you know, the other, you know, timeline Sora's life. But yes, guys, only time will tell, or at least Melody and Memory will hopefully tell all we really need. I mean, it's called Melody of Memory, you know, the abbreviation is MOM. Sora, you know, the Master of Masters abbreviation is MOM, and Sora was last seen in the final world in the trailer, and then, you know, there's a hooded figure in the final world in the trailer, and yeah, I don't know how, you know, much more black and blue it gets than that, but we will see what happens. So anyway, guys, hope you enjoyed this video today. Please leave a like on this video, as well as subscribe to the channel to help the channel keep going, guys, and I will be looking forward to getting part 3 ready. Please expect more videos like this. If you guys haven't already, check out my Kingdom Hearts cinematic anime opening. I'm pretty sure that will not disappoint. And yeah, until next time, guys, have a fantastic day. I've been Ronan Lockhart, and I will see you all later. May your heart be your guiding key.